Fruitful Trees. Hallelujah. I'm here tonight. I want to answer your questions and discuss a couple of things about fruit trees with you all. And often on Sunday nights, I have a special guest and I announce it prior to being on. And tonight, I just felt so good about things that I'm growing and things that I'm doing. I didn't have anything planned as in terms of having a special guest on, but I wanted to come on here because when I do have a special guest, I want to answer some of your questions, but I want to leave that up to the guest to answer. Now, I've told a couple of the people that I go and visit that I was going to be on here last second, so some of them might pop in and say hello. But I wanted to get on here and also be able to talk a little about things that are going on here at Fruitful Trees and also answer your questions. So first thing I want to say is thank you all to all my subscribers for subscribing to my channel. It's my goal and my passion to learn as much as possible about growing fruit trees as most efficiently as possible and effectively as possible. And as I'm learning, I'm doing research, and it's a pleasure for me to be sharing this research with all of you so you can learn also. I always think it's best to learn from other people's mistakes and not our own, and to do our best to try to avoid making uh, mistakes and errors and things like this. So I want to talk a little about what I've been learning and what I've learned. And some of you say, well, he's always changing when he talks about something 6 months later, he's moving a tree or he's getting a different variety or something else. And there's a reason for that. And that is because I've learned and I have an open enough mind to change. And one of my suggestions or advice is like, don't plant a fruit tree until you taste the fruit. Well, sometimes I've done that in the past, and that's why I promote that and say that. Another one is when I say something like, don't plant trees too close together. I have probably the best high density yard. I call it sometimes high intensity yard out there. And that's why I say that, because I know from personal experience what's working and what's not working. On the same hand, I love the high density gardening, and that's a big misconception that people get when they see my videos. They think I'm like really against it, but I'm really for it. But there's a wise way to do high density. And I see most people not doing it in a wise way because you can plant two mango trees close together and with knowing you're going to prune them and it can work. However, you can't put a lychee and or you can do whatever you want to do, but if you put a lychee and a longan next to each other, it's probably going to be a waste of your time. So if you all have any questions, come on now and answer them. And I have a couple of my friends that might stop in, and I'll share my link with them where they can come on and say hello here. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to put the Zoom link for anyone who wants to come on and say hello. And if you want to come on the Zoom, you can always type your question in the side. But I'm going to do that. I'll put the Zoom link here. So if you want to say hello and there's a face behind the question, that'd be pretty cool. So ask your questions. Uh, Here is the Zoom link. If anyone wants to come on the Zoom link, just I posted it in the chat and I'll pin it up top. If anyone wants to ask a question, you could ask it. But if you want to come on, come on. And I see Julian Laura's in the chat from laurafarmsmiami.com. So yeah, he might come on. Okay. So we got our friend Nicole is on here, and I'll open this up, and this will give you an idea what this looks like here. Anyone's free to come on here and talk about if they have a question. And before we say hello to Nicole, I just want to mention to everyone, I haven't seen it all, but I've seen a lot, and I've a lot of people are new to this. I'm still kind of new to this, but I'm good friends with people that have been doing this a very, very long time. And I take their words seriously when they tell me something. And you could ask uh, Julian at Laura Farms or or Tom at Sleepy Lizard Avocado or anyone. I ask a lot of questions because I want to learn. I sincerely want to learn to know what's going to be best, and I don't want to see people waste their time. And I don't mean to have people, you know, calling people out or certain things, but if I see something that's not good, I'm gonna let people know so people don't have to make a mistake or something. So let me look at a couple of questions and then well, you know what? We'll take a question from Nicole and I see all your other questions. So I'll look at those also. So Nicole, hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, good, good. And where are you located?
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Are you growing any fruit trees out there?
Not yet.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you for coming on here. Do you have a fruit tree question for me?
I do. Thank you for having me on. I thought that until I'm ready to start growing trees, I should at least be uh, saving the seeds from the produce that I consume. So I started doing that, and I noticed that avocado seeds are kind of strange. They crackle and they get very small. And I was wondering, do you have any advice or about storing avocado seeds? When I looked briefly online, it said that I saw that you can only store them for 6 months. So I was thinking maybe it's a futile effort to
If
save
if
avocado seeds.
If your goal is to plant an avocado from a store-bought supermarket seed, I don't recommend that. However, because it's never going to be the same avocado or same mango as it is you got the seed from. There's a slight chance it could be similar, but most likely it won't be a good one, and then you've wasted all that time. What I would encourage people is to save their avocados wherever they get them, is if they're have a plan to graft another avocado that they like on top of that seed that's going to grow, and then later on you can graft on top of it. So in that
Oh,
case, I'd recommend just growing it, but if you don't have yard or the space and that's not your plan or goal, uh, it might, if you want to grow an avocado tree, what are you going to do with it when it gets bigger? But if you want to graft, then it might be good to just grow them and practice grafting with another one you've grown just to get the hang of it. So then
that's a
one
good
day when you do
idea.
get your yard, you already had been an expert. So you might spend years in your apartment trying to graft different seedlings, but now you're ready when the time comes. So that's not a bad idea. As for storing them, I believe it's going to take about, if you put it in the fridge and maybe wrap it in a wet paper towel, you can get maybe a week, 7 days out of it. But the longer you wait, the less it's going to be good. Some people might stretch that, but you want to try to plant it. The sooner you plant it, the better, and just watch it, let it grow. I remember one year I planted a whole bunch of Mamey seeds and they all grew. And even then, I didn't know what to do with them. I ended up giving them to other people that really were ready to graft my May trees. But yeah, so that I hope that helped.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Good, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm excited to answer the questions on the side chat. And I'm so glad to connect the face with the questions, everybody. Again, thank you all for being here. We have Edward. Hello, Edward. How you doing? Oh, he's waiting to connect to his audio, so he can't hear us yet. So, Ed, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Can you hear me? No, you gotta unmute your mic. We're on Zoom. Okay, there you go. Hello? We
Yeah.
can't hear us yet. Now I could hear you. Ed, can you
Oh,
hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, Ed, you have to lower your other screen in the background because you're getting
you hear me?
feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you gotta unmute your mic. You gotta somehow fix the
Zoom.
sound
Okay, there you
because
go.
when I talk,
Hello?
it's
Yeah.
lower the speakers. Okay. There, I think you got it. Now you could talk. Ed, you got a question? All right, everybody, keep in mind if you're going to come on here, you have to have either earplugs or have a way to not have the speaker come on, and so I don't hear myself speak and you speak at the same time. But Ed, did you figure it out yet? While Edward's figuring that out, let's say look on the side and who's joining us. So somebody's asking, Daylift is asking, how hardy is the Persian lime tree? I'm in zone 9A in Texas, and hopefully it will make it through the winter in the ground. So I can't speak for Texas. I do know that in zone 9 in South Georgia, which is the only zone 9 I'm somewhat familiar with. It's good for citrus. Actually, it's great for citrus. So I can't speak to the exact Persian lime, but in general, in zone 9A, citrus does wonderful, and it gets down there pretty cold, pretty cold. So it is a hardy. Citrus is hardy in zone 9A. So at least in Georgia area. So the best way to do it though is sometimes there's microclimates, sometimes it's different, and two people can be growing a tree like in a yard next to each other, and one can thrive and one might not. So it's not just the zone, it's the spot. So try it and see, and that's how you'll learn and know. Yes, Edward, try coming back on and figure that out because I love your question. He says he's drooling over the picture behind me, and so am I. That is a white sapote. And I have a bunch of videos coming out this week about white sapote. All right. Again, if anyone wants to join us, I posted the link. I'll pin it up top. You can come join us on a Zoom and ask you a question. Okay. Let's see here. Can you grow mangoes in Newport Richey, Florida? Yes, you can. You can grow mangoes. As Julian answered, 32 Fahrenheit is the limit. So if you have a freeze, there's a good chance the mango tree will die. And I know it does get that cold up there, but there's a good amount of people in the Tampa area and north of Tampa growing mangoes. So you'll have to find a way when it gets cooler uh, towards the 32, you have to find a way to keep them warm. And there's a whole bunch of tricks and people online doing all these creative ways to keep the mango trees long. Some people just warm. Some people grow them in a pot and bring them inside. Some people leave them outside and build a little shelter around them. But it is possible. It is definitely possible to do it. You just got to get creative, and it definitely takes more work than as if you're just growing it where we are here in South Florida. So let's see, and type your questions on the side chat, everybody. If anyone has any questions for me or comments, I'm not just here for questions. If you have comments, that'll be fine also. Let's see here. Yoel Gonzalez says I have 14 feet of space between the house and fence. Can I put a Key West Mamey 7 feet from the house? Good question. I don't know if Julian Laura's online, but he has a tremendous amount of mamey trees on his property that I've seen, and they're spaced quite a bit apart. But I can say I've seen people, I've been to yards and I videoed yards where they've had mamey literally up against the house, like maybe 2 feet from the house, and it's not going to grow on that side because the wall of the house is there. But depending how much room you have on the other side, it will grow. Now, I don't know what's on the other side of your 7 foot defense, but if you grow it from the house and then you grow it out, and particularly if you get the right mamey, some mameys grow more straight up than more bushy. And if you cut the top, it becomes more bushy. But if you keep it growing straight up, it'll be tall and hard to get, but it's possible. So I would, uh, if that's all you have, I don't know if mamey is going to be the best choice. There might be some other things that'll fit in the space better, but if you want mamey, just try to get one of the mamey trees that are not uh, as a quick grower. So Some of the May trees are smaller than others, so that might help. Okay. All right. If anyone else has questions, just let me know. And thank you all. Okay, here I just see some more questions. I love this. When I'm interviewing somebody, it's not easy for me because I want to like slow down what I have to say and I want them to speak. But now I'm here, so I'm able to answer some of these that I make a lot of videos about. So I'm glad you're here. So, how many mango varieties flowering for you at this time? So none of them are flowering yet, but they're about to. They're about to. Many of them, the panicles are starting to emerge, and any day now, it's going to be ready to spray for sulfur if you are spraying. But right now, a lot of them are close. But the only one I had flowering and actually put baby fruit out that already fell off and died was one tree, which was the sugarloaf. Was the sugarloaf. But I'm looking at the reports online, and a lot of people are. Now's the time it's happening. So it's really exciting time, and every year it's exciting when this happens because it gives us an idea of what is going to happen with the upcoming season. Uh, so somebody's asking what I can grow in Zone 9B in Jacksonville, Florida. Great question. And the zone chart recently changed, but even then, you can push the zone and grow some things out of your zone, at least attempt to and try. If you look online and you see what grows in Zone 9B or 9A or even 8C, 8B, that'll tell you the textbook of what'll grow there. But the best way to know what'll grow there is see what people are growing there. Like you can go online to a Jacksonville growers growing board and see what people are growing and ask around. Another thing is if you go to your local Home Depot or Lowe's, see what they sell. Most likely, it's not all the time, but they usually won't sell something that is not going to grow in that area. They're definitely going to stock up on the things that do grow in that area. But if you know somebody growing papaya or avocado in that area and it's been successful, find out what kind it is. That's the best way to know is find somebody who's doing it. Now, if you want to try doing it, that's great. But I've done a lot of research for that zone because I looked at possibly getting some land in southern Georgia, and and so I know that zone very well, and I have friends there that grow, and I would think the best three things to grow in zone 9, A or B, in my opinion, and my taste buds, the best three things to grow from a fruit tree standpoint. And if I lived in that zone, the three things I would definitely grow the most of, one would be persimmons, another would be, and all many different varieties, another would be figs, and another would be white sapote. Those three, in my opinion, of course, you can get the stone fruits like peaches and plums and pears and kumquats grow great there, and citrus grows great there. No, so Sadastuma tangerines I would grow as well. That would be my fourth one, Sadastuma tangerines. But that's an exciting area. That is an exciting area to grow things. And I interviewed a guy who, I interviewed many people from that area. And in my interviews, you could see what people are growing. Pete, I gotta remember the name. He has a popular channel and his garden is amazing. And he's in, I think, 9A or 9B on the West Coast. And he has a great video, so I'll try to remember his. But Pete at where he is, he has a lot of great stuff, and that was a great video. So yeah, look at my videos and see what people are growing. But yeah, persimmons, figs, white sapote, and our citrus are things that'll grow excellent there. Uh, Another question from Not Milky: would you consider visiting farms in Texas and California? Well, it's interesting. I definitely consider everything. California is the second best place to grow in the United States, if not the best, especially Southern California. And I visited and filmed some really cool farms in Southern California. So I hate the traffic of Southern California. Weather-wise, I think it's the best place in the United States overall. But Florida is great for tropical trees. But I'd consider it. I definitely would. I've got invited to India to look at the mango farms out there. It's not easy for me to travel, and well, I guess it could be. I love where I live, and I don't like to be away from home too long. But if it's the right time, I would definitely consider it. And when I go to a state that's growing fruit trees, I will definitely be bringing my camera and doing videos. And I tell everybody, whether you're here in Florida or Texas or California or anywhere, contact me because maybe we could do something over Zoom where I've had people from Hawaii and Costa Rica on, and we've did a video of their trees via Zoom. So I'd be open to that. So definitely, I don't know many people growing trees in Texas, but people contact me. A lot of people order trees. Julie and Laura tells me people order trees from down there, from there. So I know there are people growing trees, and I love to hear what people are growing. So that's great. All right, thank you everybody for uh, all the questions. I'm so excited to answer these. Okay, let's see. Next one is. How's my grafts doing? So those of you that are watching my channel currently, I've grafted a bunch of white sapote and a bunch of mangoes. And I'm really excited on my mango tree. A graft just broke through for my Karen Michelle that I added. I have a tree that has Kent, Angie, and Fairchild. And I'm not really uh, thrilled about the Fairchild. I mean, I've had good Fairchilds, but there are more exciting things for me out there. So I tried to put on a bunch of Karen Michelle, and one of them took. But I just realized the one that took was on the Angie graft. But it's all good. I'm excited about that. What's really exciting is my Campbell white sapote. I had a white sapote tree that I moved and it wasn't doing well, and so I grafted on top of it, and it's just doing wonderful and two Campbell grafts took, and there's several more that I'm still waiting for, and also the new Fruit Hunters White Sapote that I'm making a video about now. That's amazing. Is I got a bunch of grafts on my homestead Sapote White Sapote tree, so nothing happening yet, but I'm really hoping it does. Okay, next question. And let me know, everybody. I know we're gonna have guests on. We're gonna have more guests. I'm planning the second Sunday of every month to have a special guest to answer questions, like a true fruit tree expert. OGs, like they know it. But let me know if this is helpful to you as well. Do you have any knowledge on Maya Stack Mango? I see all the clickbait videos that's getting the world's most expensive mango, but never seen you or Tropical Acres Farm talk about it. I've mentioned it to Alex, and he told me what the mango really was. I forget right now the name, but he says that's just and tells me what kind of mango it really is. So we should do a video about that. But yeah, it certainly gets a lot of money. I think in Japan or somewhere, but I don't know what the one Alex says it was, but he says it's not as special as people would think it is. But sure, social media makes it sound like wow. But now there's some other ones that are really hard to find that not even Alex has. I think it's the white mango that's hard to find that I'm hearing great things about. I'd be more interested in something super exotic like that. But no, it'd be great to actually go to Japan or go where they're selling this type of mango and to go out there and that'd be really cool. Okay, and do a video on that. What are your thoughts on the Brogden and Lula avocado? This is a great video I'm doing here tonight because for those of you that missed it in all my content, I'm able to answer these types of questions because I talk about this all the time. Also, it's right now avocado season, so this is a topic that comes up a lot, and I'm glad that we could be here answering this. So, what are my thoughts on the Brogden and Lula avocado? Brogden avocado is absolutely delicious. You can eat it with the skin. The skin is thick. It fruits really well. It's well known. However, it doesn't reach my goals when it growing fruit trees because I don't have a lot of space. So I think the seed is too big and the flesh is too little for it to be worth that valuable real estate I have in my yard. If somebody has a big yard and they can plant a lot of trees, definitely a winner. Taste wise, a winner. But for that, it's not one I would plant. However, Lula avocado I have in my yard, and even though it's the seed's big in the flesh, it's not as big as the Brogden, but it is amazing. One of my top avocados I would recommend. It's amazing. So definitely love my Lula. So yes, okay. Somebody answered. They said the Mastakaki is a Irwin mango. Is the Irwin mango? So, which I believe is a popular in Australia, I believe. But thank you, thanks for sharing that. So hello to everyone else. Somebody had a question for Julian. I don't know if he's still in the background watching, but is Porta Vida avocado? You have the same variety found by David Fairchild in Rivers, Nicaragua. So we'll see if Julian answers that one. I don't know about the history of that one. Uh, I would like to know how much does the grafted Florida persimmon cost and who has it? Are persimmon related to both white and chocolate pudding sapote? I love these questions because it's common, these questions. So first, a grafted Florida persimmon. There are two here that'll do well in South Florida, but you just said Florida, so I don't know where you're located. Most persimmons will grow in Central Florida because they need a certain amount of chill hours to get certain persimmons. And if you are in Central Florida, I would recommend you go to Nick's. Nick's Edibles is a good place, and he has a lot of persimmons and a lot of history about the persimmons, and he has a lot of persimmon trees for sale. Most nurseries that sell persimmon trees, wherever they are, usually are in the same price range, depending on the size of what you're getting. There's not a big difference between the nurseries and that. Now, if you're talking about the tropical Florida, South Florida persimmon, also known as the Hudson, or the Triumph persimmon, which is often confused for the Hudson, here in South Florida, it's really hard to come by. I know Julian has a nice tree on at Laura Farms, and he's in the process of grafting it and getting seedlings for that. So that's a great resource. But as of now, I don't know anyone who has available the persimmon trees, those types of those persimmon trees. And I'm on the lookout for it. I know Mike at Trees and More Nursery, about an hour north from me here. He's in the process of getting some good budwood and to start attempting to graft it and see how it comes out. I did a video recently with somebody that lives near Trees and More, and they had a beautiful South Florida persimmon tree loaded, and so that was nice and shows us what's going to be available because there's many seeds and also a budwood that can come from a tree like that. But so nobody has right now, to my knowledge, at least more than enough to really get out there at the moment, but uh, hopefully they will. Now, persimmon is related. The only fruit that's well known that's related to it, it might be the black sapote, which is in the persimmon family. But no, white, uh, and that is also called the chocolate pudding fruit. Is it's called a black sapote. So black sapote is a Simmons and it is related. The white sapote is not related. A white sapote is more related to a citrus family, so it's not related. But there are some people that say you can graft onto a black sapote rootstock persimmon, and I know people have tested it out and tried it out, but I also hear that eventually, if you do that, the persimmon won't last and it'll die. So it will take, but it won't last successfully. That's what I've heard. So yeah, there's that. Uh, Another question, my favorite question right now, what are white sapotes that produce off season? It depends where you live. White sapote is popular in Australia, California, and Florida. It's popular all over the world, but these are probably the three most common places people are growing it. And it's not really popular here in South Florida. And hopefully, thanks to my videos, it will become popular. And I know it will be. But I am looking out for the off-season varieties. California is probably the most popular place where they grow different varieties, named varieties of white sapote trees, but Hawaii is also a place where they grow them. It's not uh, well known in other places as much, but even then, something that might grow off season in Hawaii or California or Australia might be different here in South Florida. So I'm encouraging all the nurseries here in South Florida to stock up on as many different varieties as possible so people can start growing the white sapote trees. And I'm on a quest to have one of the biggest selection of white sapotes here in South Florida. For that very reason, I want to find out what white sapote tree is going to do great here in South Florida. Now, I can tell you one for sure, and I have a suspicion of another one. And this is just the beginning of my venture into finding out which white sapote grows off season. I know in Australia and sometimes in California, the Vernon white sapote grows. Uh, oh, somebody just tried to join. Arania, come on back on and say hello. I'll post the link again. But yeah, so the Vernon white sapote does fruit off season in in California and in Australia. So I do have a Vernon tree that I'm going to test out here in South Florida and see if that takes here in South Florida. Now, there's a new one that I talk about, which is called Fruit Hunter's Giant Flan white sapote tree that I'm making a video about today. I'm posting it tomorrow, and also I'm going to be posting a couple of videos about this in the next couple of day or the next week or so. That one is known to be off season, but it's a we believe it's a seedling. Julian from Laura Farms, Miami, and myself were there last week getting some budwood for it and grafting. So Julian will have that available in the future. Zane's World Nursery has went down there and got a bunch of grafts, but I got my first taste of it just today, and it's absolutely my number one tasting white sapote that I've tasted. I give it a 10 out of a 10. Uh, it was great. So I'm gonna be making a video about that, but I just got a fruit of it last week, and here we are in the end of November, which is unheard of for white sapote. And Salad Fruit Hunters told me that this thing fruits in November. I think he was down there last month, and the tree was still loaded. So I got the last one off the tree. But watch out for my videos tomorrow. I have a video coming out on that, and also have 2 or 3 videos coming out this week on it. All right. Next question is it time to spray sulfur when panicles haven't emerged from the blooms yet, or wait for the actual panicles? Now, me being like you, just trying to learn here as well, I asked Alex today at Tropical Acres Farms, and I've asked a bunch of other people this question because I am ready. I got my sulfur. I'm ready to spray. I'm ready. And I was speaking to, what is it? The people at Mango Matter, and they've already made videos where they're starting to spray sulfur, and other people are spraying sulfur. And I asked, and I was about to spray today actually, and my neighbor said it's too soon. It's too soon. You got to wait a little bit longer. So I took a picture and I showed it to Alex, and he said, for me in my yard, for my picture, he said I need to wait a little bit longer. But so I can't say for other people's yards. I don't know if it's dangerous to uh, spray the sulfur early, but but it might be a waste as well. So, but so there are people I know that are spraying now, and some people are waiting. I would suppose I'm going to start here in the next, couple days, a week or so. So some people are out there doing it, some are not. My ultimate advice would be is keep a chart of when you're spraying, of how it looks, and figure out what works best for you. If you start spraying now, see if it helped the situation this year, and then next year try something different, and then you'll have an idea of what works best for you in your place. Uh, Ariana says, "How do you find the growing zone we live in?" Well, it's very simple. You just type a growing zone. You could say fruit trees. You don't have to, and just type it in Google, and it'll bring up the current growing zone. And it might even bring up a map and show you what zone you're in. So that's how you could find out. Or you could just say simply in Siri or somewhere what growing zone is so such and such place in, and it'll tell you. Another question by Maddox Gardening. Is the lychee or jackfruit easier to grow in Zone 9B, Florida? Easier to grow in Zone 9B than where? Than where else? If you mean, is it easy to grow in Zone 9B? Uh, it's pushing it. It's pushing it. So let's see. Okay. So, okay, yeah, it's pushing it, but it can be grown there. I know people that are growing it. I was up in Tampa, the Tampa area recently. People were growing jackfruit successfully, and trying to grow lychee. So it's pushing it, but so it's not easier, but it's possible. Okay. All right. Michael Gonzalez just joined us. Maybe he has a question. Michael, if you want to unmute your mic and say hello. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Yeah, unmute your mic. Try that again, Michael.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Good, good. Your camera's off, and that's fine if you want it to be. I'm just letting you know, but we hear you fine. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Where are you located?
Food Forest Tampa.
Food Forest, Tampa. Good to hear from you, Mike. And I visited Michael and did a video with him this past summer. Right? That's you, Michael, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing video, amazing time. So excited to see his yard. Man, thank you for all you're doing in that area.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. I'm excited for my white sapote tree. It has not fruited yet, but I think you saw it when I was out or when you were out here, but I wanted to mention being from San Diego, there is so many varieties out there that are really, really good. And if we could I don't know. Maybe next time I'm out there, I'll grab or try to find a bunch of budwood and do the legwork beforehand and then bring a bunch back maybe. But I don't, I could
Yeah,
graft on my own tree maybe and then go from there. I don't know.
absolutely.
Growing it out.
There's so many, and Zane from Zane's World, he has up to 15 varieties now, and he continues to get more and more from California.
Yeah.
But yeah, being in California myself, I see so many that were out there, and and there's some information online. But yeah, I want to know what grows here. And you're in like the perfect growing zone for white sapote. What variety do you have in the ground?
So I brought back when I came back from San Diego, I brought back a McDill seedling and I think it was a Subel. But the one that I have, I got from um, uh, Excalibur, and it was labeled USDA.
Wow. I want to get my hands on a USDA, and I wish I would have back then. But by the way, you mentioned seedlings. White sapote are not true to seed, folks. So that's why I would recommend a grafted variety. But I know some people that grow seedlings in hopes it'll be like that. Favorite mango, they'll have their favorite white sapote. As a matter of fact, the fruit hunters one might be a seedling. I think Julian mentioned it might be a seedling. But that's really cool, Michael. Yeah, uh, I'm always talking about this because I'm learning a lot, and I just the fruit is amazing and it freezes wonderful. So, as a matter of fact, there's a question right after The next question is, can I grow white sapote in Haines City, Central Florida? Yes, wonderfully. White sapote can easily grow anywhere in South Florida, and if you get into Georgia, it'll grow there. Uh, what zone would you say, Mike, it'll grow up to? Zone 8, maybe zone 9? What do you think?
Well, they're good down to about 23, 22 degrees. They can mature trees. Um, Young trees around maybe a little bit below freezing. Um, but I think they thrive in the cooler climate. So even if you're like, let's say Central Florida, but Central Florida meaning like um, maybe even as far as Levy County, they would do pretty good. North Florida, and maybe like you said, maybe even into Georgia, but I think, they can get into the teens pretty easy at the Florida Georgia line.
Yeah, yeah, I know people in North California growing white sapote.
Yeah, like in the valley, or there's even white sapote farms along the coast in certain areas. In Santa Barbara County, I know there's quite a few white sapote farms, and they grow really well along in the beaches in San Diego. There's a lot of trees.
Well, like I said, it's great to learn about all these. I know at Fruit and Spice Park they have 4 or 5 white sapote trees that are really old, and thanks to people like Julie and Laura, who's like not passing up one like the Campbell and trying it out. That people have been walking past it for years, and then we got to try that. That was absolutely amazing. But the already named varieties that are available in South Florida now are absolutely amazing. I have nothing negative to say about them. I haven't tasted them all yet, but it's just we have so much great stuff here, and then we're starting to bring some new ones in from California, so we'll see how they do here in South Florida. Yeah. So, but Michael, thank you for mentioning that. Appreciate it. Please keep us updated, okay?
Yeah, hey Paul, I have a question for you. Where would you
Okay.
say white sapote ranks on your list of favorite fruits?
Uh, if you watch my videos, you know the answer. I would say my number one favorite fruit is durian. And I would say white sapote would be number two. And yeah, so and I love all fruits, and I only eat fruits and vegetables, by the way, folks. That's why my goal is to plant what's really going to feed me. I only eat fruits and vegetables and a few nuts and seeds, but I mean, I love mamey, I love mango, I love jackfruit, but white sapote is always been a great food. And last year I was like, I got too much of it. It's just too much on one tree. But then I froze them. And when I was eating them frozen, to me, like a mango is good, fresh. It's great fresh, but when you freeze it, it's good. Not great, not as good as it is fresh. White sapote is almost the opposite. I mean, it's amazing fresh, but it's even more amazing frozen. So currently, right now, it's durian and then white sapote. What about you, Mike?
I haven't been lucky enough to have durian, so we will see.
So
Uh,
what's your favorite fruit beside that?
I would say so. Before I moved to Florida, it was pomegranates and white sapote. There's a lot of pomegranate farms on the West Coast and in Southern California, so I took a liking to all the different varieties there. But when I moved back here to Florida, I just went crazy with mangoes. So probably right now, as it stands, I would say one, two, three is mango, pomegranate, white sapote, and maybe even like a one, two, two mango, white sapote, pomegranate, something like that.
And now, can you grow any pomegranates where you are?
Mm, the Vietnamese one can grow without too much fungal issues, but not really. In fact, there's you remember the lake that's right by my house. Right on
Yeah.
the other side of that lake is an old orange grove, and before The University of Florida was doing some testing with new varieties of pomegranate there. So
Wow, wow,
there's a
interesting.
lot of research that's been done for pomegranates in Florida, and that was kind of neat to know that, they were doing it right there.
Yeah, I meet a lot of people that they have their favorite fruit and then they taste a new variety of something and it changes their thing. Like if somebody's first jackfruit was like a hard one or a soft one, but they only like the opposite, then they might not have the experience. But best variety of best fruit. It's just, I mean, this is what's so great about all the fruit trees out there, because I love everything. I mean, figs, persimmons, and mangoes. I love. I mean, mangoes obviously grow the best out here. But and I love mangoes, but they're not at the top of my list. I'd say there are other things in front of that. Not even only white sapote. I mean, jackfruit, a good Chine jackfruit, or I like the soft ones, and persimmons you can't grow here, but Mamey is just out of this world. And then just when I thought it couldn't get better, I tasted the Jamaica Mamey from Laura Farms, and it's like I didn't think Mamey can get any better. And then I had the Jamaica, and then I had the new ones they have there. Uh, it's just amazing, and it keeps getting better. So. That list is going to change for a lot of people. But everyone, type in the comments your favorite fruit. That's great. Speaking of Mamey, look what I got here. Uh, Julian sent me some of these Mameys that I'm gonna be tasting once they get ripe. This is what variety? Pozo Azul Mamey. I know I'm not the best with pronouncing everyone, but that's a Mamey that Julian sent me, so I'm gonna be trying. But yeah, Michael, you're welcome to hang out here. And if you have any questions, just go ahead. But if you have to go, I understand. But man, everybody, Tampa Food Forest, if you're in the Tampa area, this is the guy you want to contact. Amazing, amazing place, yard, and everything. Thanks, Mike. All right. Let's see. I'm looking for the other questions here. Can I give an overview of my mango tree care during the winter months, December and February? Are you irrigating or spraying anything during those months? If so, how many times per week? No. From December to February, well, it's December now. So yeah, I definitely am not watering them at all. I will start spraying them when uh when it's the right time, which is usually in January for sulfur. And I haven't, last year was the first year I started to uh think about spraying the trees with sulfur. So this is the first year I'm actually going to spray a lot of trees with sulfur, or at least try to. And then copper I'll spray. I sprayed copper the last couple of years, but that's it. And no water until the fruit sets. I might turn on the water for a little, but you don't need to do that. So, and I often have people on talking about what they do, and I show you in my videos as I'm doing these things. But you don't, mangoes are pretty easy. I know a lot of people that do a lot of things that are mangoes, and then somebody does nothing and they have an amazing crop. So it goes both ways. So it's good. All right, somebody else is joining us, and if you want to join us, I posted the link. It's posted up top to ask a question. Gabe, hello, Gabe. How you doing? Unmute your mic, Gabe, and continue to post your questions in the side chat. I'll answer them. Gabe, unmute your mic and then, so we could hear you. So I'll wait to Gabe unmutes his mic or her mic, uh, and or her camera or their camera. But okay, while Gabe's trying to figure out the microphone, I'll go on and say hello. Have I ever grown elderberry? No, I have not. That was from William. A lot of good questions here. And let's see. Trying to catch up here. So many comments. I lost my place here. uh, Find it. Going back. Okay. All right. Sleepy Liz is joining us. Hello, Tom from Sleepy Lizard. Gabe, I'm here, but I see you, but I can't hear you. So you got to turn off your mic. All right. Edward Doyle has a question. Oh, has anyone here ordered any of the new Mamey varieties from Julian? Been a long wait already. Yeah, he has them available on his website, laurafontsmiami.com. So yeah, and it's going to be a while, but you will get them. And if you're on that list, that's exciting. I've tasted them and they're amazing. And I got the Jamaica. I don't have the other ones yet, but they are amazing. What would be the best variety? Goshen Bullyard says a variety of what? Okay, the Rockaway says, and by the way, folks, if I can't answer a question or I don't know the answer, I'm not going to pretend like I do. I'll straight up tell you I don't know, but I will know who to send you to who can answer that. I have no problem saying I don't know. I'm not trying to make up answers here. So how come the Laura Pollock avocado didn't get planted in the ground? I thought you really liked this one and we're going to plant it in the ground. So great question, and I'm making a lot of videos on avocados now because it's the season. Laura Pollock is one, also known as Improved Pollock, is one of my favorites. I just ran out of space. I literally have every space taken up with an all-star tree. I call them my all-stars. There's no room to spare, and I'm literally taking some trees out so I could fit in the white sapotes. But I also have avocados to cover every season, so it's not like I need another one in the ground. But I would, I have it, and it's growing. I have it in a 25 gallon pot. As a matter of fact, I did plant it in the ground. I did plant it in the ground and I had it in the ground, but it was right next to a choquette that I had. And my goal was to let it grow and then either replace the choquette avocado or at least take that and use grafts from that. And that wasn't growing as well in the ground, so I put it back in the pot with the goal to have the budwood and eventually top work another tree, maybe with more varieties. And improved pollock was one of them. But improved pollock is wonderful. I got to taste it again this summer. It's excellent, and I do recommend it. And I wish I had a bigger yard for that. All right, somebody else is joining us now. We have Helda Valentine. We'll say hello to you. And also, if anyone wants to get their question answered immediately before everything else, you can do super chat. Super chat is open. And then that way your question will be highlighted and I could see it first. Even if it's like 25 cents or something, then I could see it first. But okay. Helda Valentine. Hello, how are you? Helder, we connecting to audio. Okay. You got to unmute your mic. Helder, okay. Helder, how are you? Unmute your mic so you could say hello. Okay. Helder has to unmute your mic. If you guys are going to connect, the link is there. Oh, there you go, Helder. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. You know, your camera's off, and that's fine, but I do hear you.
So I'm growing white sapote in Europe.
In Europe. Wow. Wow. What part of Europe?
So that's northern Portugal.
Wow. Wow. And what's
That's
the zone there? What's the growing zone?
it's 9A, I think, maybe 9B. There's a
How
lot
lo
of discussion on that.
how long have you been growing it there?
So I was growing them before in the Canary Islands in Tenerife, which is, I think, the same as Southern California. And now I'm kind of more Northern California.
Okay, so Northern Cal and what variety and how's it growing?
So here we don't have many named varieties. There's McDill, some people have, and and Vernon, some people have. Mine are all seedlings and some cuttings I brought from the Canary Islands.
How long have you been growing them?
I've been growing them for 10 years.
Oh, so you're getting they're fruiting well?
Uh, when I was in the Canary Islands, I was working on a farm that had fruiting trees, big fruits. I think all seedlings.
Wow. So were
And
you, yeah?
and then a friend of mine got some seeds from the US and he gave me some, and I germinated about 8 trees, and they came out all different. And one of them is fruiting now.
For the first time.
Yeah, I had first frost yesterday.
Wow, wow. Well,
So I have a multi-grafted tree in Portugal. There is about 8 years old and never flowered. And I grafted 10, about 15 different varieties on it, from seedlings and cuttings I get here and there, and they're all different.
wow. Are you do you grow other fruits as well, or is it just white sapote?
Yeah, I'm kind of into everything. Mangoes doesn't work at my climate, but ananas is also not easy. But jabuticaba does great, and I have cherries, so I can have cherries and jabuticaba together.
Wow. Are there a lot of other people growing fruit trees in northern Portugal where you are?
Yeah, we have big fruit tradition. This is mountainous and wine culture. But people been growing a lot of cherries, chestnuts, apples, pears, all the Mediterranean climate.
Well, that sounds exciting. If anyone's watching and you're in that area or you're looking to go on vacation, definitely this guy seems like he knows the fruit tree areas growing on in northern Portugal. Helder, please
Yeah.
keep me updated about how the varieties do and how the fruit taste when they fruit.
So do you have like white sapote fruiting after frost?
We don't get frost where I live.
So like you have trees flowering now or fruiting now?
Actually, the trees are flowering now, but they're not fruiting just yet. They fruit in the summertime here. But yes, I have varieties that I get fruit every summer, and they're absolutely amazing.
And for off season only Sue Bell.
No, I'm actually here in South Florida, and Subel is not off season. Subel is summer fruit here, and I'm waiting
Mm.
to find another off season white sapote here for South Florida. That's what I'm experimenting with now, trying to find that out. But yeah, Subel fruits in the summer here in July and August.
So the ones that produce off season, they fruit twice a year or only once?
For South Florida, I don't know because we haven't found an off season one yet. So we'll wait. It waits to be known. We did just find one actually, but it's going to have to be grafted and studied before we figure that out.
So all the ones you have produce during the summer.
Right now, yes. But I just got the fruit hunters, which might be fruiting. Fruits actually, it just fruited in November, so we're just learning about that one.
Yeah, I wonder about the variability on the seed and how much of the genes of the parents pass through it.
It's a good question. I know we know with mangoes that even though they're not identical, they often carry the same characteristics.
Yeah. I'm
So.
after the yellow ones also. There are some that are yellow.
California and Hawaii apparently have superior varieties than us here. I know there's a guy on in Australia that makes videos. I think it's Fruitopia or something. He's in Melbourne, Australia, and he has several white sapote trees and often talks about them. But they're going to be different in each area. But you seem to be the leader out there when it comes to white sapote because if you have so many trees and knowledge and know people you're going to be our Europe contact for that zone out there. How's that?
Yeah, I have one that is very different. That it's from Ecuador, and the leaf is very long and shiny and lighter green. Very different. And I'm
Wow.
after this other one, the Tetramera, I think, different species.
What's it called?
Casimiro tetramera, I think.
Okay, okay. You know, here in
Which is,
South Florida, I haven't heard of that one, but I do have a guy from Hawaii, a grower, that I'm going to be having an interview coming up here in a couple of days with a grower in Hawaii, and we're going to talk about white sapote and mangoes and a whole bunch of stuff growing on in California and Hawaii.
yeah, there might be some intentional crosses already.
Absolutely, absolutely, there is.
Problem is, it takes so long for it to flower and to see the results, you know.
Actually, not as long as some other fruits. Mamey takes super long, you know, you could have a good amount of time. You could have it's much quicker, the white sapote, and white sapote also you can top work a tree and it takes better. So white sapote all around it covers all the bases, you know.
Yeah. For now, I'm selecting based on vigor.
Okay, okay. We all have our goals and you know, and that sounds great. Keep us updated and thanks for calling all the way from
Portugal.
Portugal. Thank you, man. And you're welcome to hang
Thank
out
you.
on here.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, hang out on here if you want and ask more questions. Let's get back to these other questions here. Thank you. Uh, somebody says, how close to my, well, Jose Luis Ramirez says, how close to my house can I plant a mango, avocado, other fruit trees? I have a concrete slab home. Uh, the avocado and mangoes are not going to borrow a concrete slab for a very, very long time, if at all. So I wouldn't worry about that. I've seen mangoes and avocados planted right up against houses. The thing is, you don't want the tree to get big. You never want the tree to get taller than your house. At least I don't want that. Maybe somebody wants a big giant tree where they can hang a swing on it and swing in the shade. I don't want that. I want to get mangoes that I can reach without a ladder. So, but if you're not planning on letting it grow taller than your house, you can grow one, I'd say 2 feet from the house. You know, so that should be okay. I wouldn't be concerned with the slab if you're going to keep them that small. But if you let them get bigger, then maybe you want to move it farther back. Another question here we have is, what banana cultivars do you grow and why? Okay, I'm trying to remember all of them, but I have a tall Namwa and I have a dwarf Namwa. I got the dwarf Namwa because it's dwarf and it's a delicious variety. The tall Namwa I got because I thought it was apple banana, but it was tall Namwa. But I'm very pleased with it. But I'm not pleased in general with bananas. I actually uh, they're not my favorite thing to grow. I made videos about that, but I get excited about some varieties. Lacatan. Uh, there's one that I can't even think of right now. And you know, I recently somewhere they like the red Cuban, so I might get that. I haven't liked it in the past. I love bananas. I just pulled off a rack. I have one in my yard, and I love bananas, but I prefer the dwarf ones over the long ones. And you ask why? Because they're easier to work with. So that's why I do. So what? And if you all want to see a video on any particular topic, let me know in the comments under my videos because I will do videos on those topics. I'm always looking for ideas. All right. Ken ask, what size avocado tree would you recommend me to get? 1 gallon, 3 gallon, 7 gallon, or 15 gallon. I don't know your situation, Ken, so I can't answer that. If you just want to get a tree and have fruit immediately and you have a good source and they have the variety you like, you can't go wrong with the bigger gallon ones. But if you have patience and you already have a lot of stuff, you know, you can't go wrong with a smaller one. So I don't know the specifics about your situation. Uh, Next question is, how can you differentiate between mangoes from different continents without tasting? For example, Thai and Indian. Uh, can you look at the leaf and the shape and the smell? Well, I know somebody who has a lot of knowledge, like somebody like Alex at Tropical Farms. He can probably do that. Look at the leaf and smell it. As for me and most people, uh, most of the common popular varieties are already well known, like where they're from. So I could see a a mango from Haiti and know it's from Haiti. A Thai mango, I can know it's from Thai. But I got to see the mango. I can't really tell by the tree personally. Some people can, but the fruit itself has characteristics that can lead you to believe which country it comes from. Like Nam Dak Mai usually has a super skinny seed and a particular shape to it that's different than the round mangoes. And there's so many mangoes, and some of them are more difficult and some are easier to tell. But the longer you do this, the more you kind of get to know. And I was just interviewing Alex the other night, and we were talking about some beautiful mangoes and different colors. So when you see that, you know that has to be one of those, and the size of the mangoes and so on. And also the season is a good indicator of what mango it might be. Uh, so somebody's asking, what variety would you say is the Pickering mango of avocados? Small and productive. Good question. Good question. Uh, a small, productive uh, avocado tree, I would say. I mean, there's now people know that it's something called a dwarf avocado, which is the warts avocado, and I haven't grown that or seen that growing, but the warts avocado is the one that's being marketed as the dwarf avocado. But I would say, and I'm speaking for Florida avocados, because I don't know what's in California. The Maria Black is a dwarf avocado tree. And so Maria Black and it's loaded. So Maria Black's a good one, a good dwarf one. I know the improved pollock when it grows, it stays droopy. But I don't know how long it'll take to get to the point where it's fruiting, but it does fruit well. The improved pollock, it's literally droopy where you can hang it up and the plant droops down. But either that or Maria Black definitely is one you can keep short. And you could really keep all of them short. When I go to Tropical Acres Farms and I see all the avocado trees there, they're pretty small. He keeps them small. Avocados, you don't need to get very big. Okay. Uh, Somebody says, I just bought a fruiting Bonita Springs white sapote from Incredible Edibles, and it's fruiting. Wow. I bought one recently and I just put it in the ground, but yours is fruiting. Wow. Yet my Redlands is not fruiting. It's 10 feet tall and healthy. Could Redlands not be fruiting, be from not enough sun? Certainly, when you get a tree more sun, it's going to fruit better. So that could be something. I would say if it hasn't fruited in 10 years, it'll start fruiting soon. Redlands is wonderful, and it started fruiting for me quite quickly. So I don't know what size you bought your Redlands in to begin with, but I bought it in a 15-gallon and it started fruiting after 2 or 3 years. But that's amazing that you got the Bonita Springs fruit. And where are you located? Anybody that's watching right now that's in South Florida, especially, and you want me to come out and feature your yard on the channel if you're growing a good amount of fruit trees, I'd love to come out and do that. So please contact me. My email's below all my videos. So somebody says, what does, well, let me remember your name, JCamp72. Okay, so you must be local if you got it at Incredible Edibles. Wonderful. Yes. Okay. What does white sapote taste like and likes the tree like? Well, the tree will grow really big if you do, but you can keep it small, or otherwise it will grow really big. I've cut mine back every year. To me, it tastes like vanilla custard or caramel. That would be my example of white sapote. Vanilla custard or caramel. And a difference in the types of flavors, they all have somewhat similar flavor. Some are sweeter than others. Some are bigger than others. Some have smaller seeds than others. Julian was talking to me about the pollination of it because it will not, it's self-fertile to the point where uh, if there's not another tree around, the fruit will stay kind of small. But if there's another tree around, the fruit will be really big. And some varieties have a bigger seed and some varieties have a smaller seed. But after tasting the Fruit Hunters variety today, which I'm making a video on, that tasted like straight up caramel to me, or flan. And that's why he's calling it giant flan. But my Redlands variety, I love the flavor. My wife says it has like a medicine taste to it, but not to me. I just love it. But the skin can be bitter on some of the varieties. So it's the skin, which is 100% edible on some varieties, is a little bitter. So that's why some people might be turned off by it. The Fruit Hunters variety that I had today, no bitterness at all. The Campbell that I had, no bitterness at all. The Redlands, maybe a little, but don't let that discourage you because that's an amazing variety. And my Subel, the skin is a little thicker, but it's delicious. So yeah, vanilla and caramel are the two words that I would best use to describe it, what it tastes like. Okay. Some Neil now says new location of a national nursery in Riviera Beach has a mango. Uh, okay, so I don't know the question. It's not a question. Uh, so Tom at Sleepy Lizard says, why do people get mad at me when I tell them I love the Hayden mango? Well, taste is very subjective, Tom, but I will say you grow avocados and you know the best varieties of avocados out there. And how would you feel if somebody told you that their best avocado is a store-bought avocado versus maybe one of your top varieties? uh, Something wouldn't sound right if people said something like that. Uh, Chances are you can get a store-bought avocado, it's okay, but chances are the homegrown ones are going to be better. So same thing with all the new varieties about out of mangoes. Hayden, which is a great variety from the back in the day, in my opinion, doesn't come close to the new varieties that are out there right now. So, nobody should get mad at anyone, but it is quite confusing sometimes. I shake my head when people say they love certain varieties of something, and it's like somebody told me they didn't like lemon zest, and I was like, what? That was just head shaker. Okay. And I've had some people tell me about avocados. They say, oh, I love that avocado. And you all know my history with Donnie. And that's quite interesting that some people love it and some don't. Uh, let's see. Okay. Okay. Snails and garden. Any thoughts of Zephyrin mango, Davis, Hayden, and a whole bunch of words? Oh, he's just saying hello to everyone. I haven't heard of that mango, so I can't give you my thoughts on it. Zerfin. I haven't heard of it. Okay, Mike Gonzalez says McDill and Subel are really good. If anyone wants to come online and ask a question, I posted the link. It's posted up top. Feel free to come on the Zoom and ask a question. Uh, got any tree recommendations for tropical? We never get frost. Can't really grow mango. Too rainy. Where are you located, Marlon? And how much land do you have? Would be my question. Okay. New School Permaculture says they're growing uh, fruit trees in Europe, 15 cultivars. What part of Europe are you in? Uh, Somebody said Neil now says they like the Valencia Pride variety of mangoes, and they haven't seen me include that one in your tasting videos. There's a reason. Valencia Pride, again, some people love certain varieties. Me particularly, That one, I won't even say it's at the top of my list. It's not on my list because it's not on my list. I have too many. I don't know how long the list could be, right? I guess it would be on a list if the list was like 100, but it's not up there with the other ones I've had, and it's way too of an aggressive grower for me to have. But that wouldn't stop me if I loved the variety. That wouldn't stop me. But don't get offended if you love that. I just don't. All right. And taste can change because some mangoes I've loved and then times I haven't, and vice versa. So maybe one day it will be on a list, and I'll be like, "How come I haven't had this?" All right, somebody's entering the chat here. We have Sergio entering, so we'll wait for Sergio to undo his audio. Sergio, if you want to unmute your mic and say hello. Okay, Sergio has to unmute the mic so we could gotta unmute your mic, Sergio, if you want to say hello to Fruitful Trees. There you go.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Sergio. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm currently in Fort Texas, and you've inspired me to grow my own fruit trees over here.
Wow, what part of Texas?
Fort Texas is South Texas, almost to the Mexico border.
Wow, wow. So you get tropical weather there?
Yeah, it's pretty right now. It gets to the 40s or 50s, but most of the time it's 90s, hundreds.
Okay. Well, you got a lot of things growing?
Yes, I have the Maria Black. I currently have a day avocado, and I just ordered a white sapote.
Nice, nice. Where'd you order the white sapote from?
Everglades Nursery.
Okay, okay. I haven't heard of that one yet, but what variety did you get?
I saw your video on it. I forgot the name. It's the biggest one you have in your, and it's always producing. I saw your video on it. Redlands, I think.
Redlands.
Yeah,
Okay, very good, very good. Now, let me just tell you, how much land do you have?
not a lot.
Okay, they will do better if there's two of them, not two Redlands, but two varieties of white sapote, because even though I mean, you could almost say they're not self-pollinating because they will fruit, but they'll fruit a lot better, and they really won't fruit well if there's only one, from what I hear.
Okay, got it.
So maybe it might be better to have two small ones next to each other, or to get budwood and graft another one on to your tree when your tree grows up. So keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool, man. That's awesome. Please keep me updated, okay?
I also got two mango trees, but I don't know if they do well over here in South Texas.
Yeah, if it gets down to 40, I mean, it's pushing it, you know? So the only way to find out though is to try. What two varieties did you get?
Uh, Pinkerton, and
Yeah.
I forgot the other one. Uh, I
So,
forgot the other.
some avocados are more cold hardy than others.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure you did the research to find out before you bought them, but just make sure you get some of the ones that are more cold hardy. And the most important thing, Sergio, is if try to find someone in your area who's been growing fruits for a long time and they could tell you what works out there and what doesn't.
All right. Yeah, I
Okay?
was interested in getting mango trees, but I'll just grow them in pots if it gets too cold or there's a
Yeah,
freeze.
grow them in a pot and bring them inside when it gets cold out.
I also had a question. I got a Walden avocado. Is that a good variety for a good tasting one?
I don't recall tasting the Walton. I think I might have, because I tasted so many with Julian. So I can't say if I even if I tasted, I don't remember.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man, and thanks for watching and coming on here.
Yes, I'm always watching your videos and I'm always looking at your avocados and mango videos. So I got
Wonderful.
inspired to grow my own stuff.
Good. Keep it up. And I would, if I was you, I'd try to grow some stuff in pots that push the limits there. But man, grow white sapotes if you can, if you got the space, because your environment sounds like you're what zone are you in?
10A.
10A?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that new 10A? Because in the old days it was did it change or was it always been 10A?
Uh, I just checked the current 2024 hardiness zone. It's 10A. I don't know if it changed.
Okay. Because 10A, I don't know if 10A gets down to 40 usually. You might be in 9B, but I don't know. But either way, you keep growing. If it gets that cold, you can grow persimmons there. If it gets that cold, you'll be able to grow figs there. So that's what I would encourage. Yeah, you can keep those in pots. The figs, they do well in pots. And yeah, it sounds like you can grow citrus there. So you're in a good area.
I currently have 4 avocado trees on the ground right now.
Wow. Hopefully it's one for each season, yeah?
Yes, I follow your recommendation of having early, middle, and late season.
Good, good. Well, you don't need more than that. You're set. If you have one for each season, you're set. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, let's see. I'm looking for more questions here before we finish. I'm looking to see. A lot of you have comments. Those are welcomed as well. Is there a persimmon cultivar that does well there? I don't know where there is, so I can't say. All right, some chats going on with each other. That's great. That's fine. Uh, Snails and Garden. Who is the person that has the USDA that I know? Text me their info. Okay, I can't find that one. Best orchard for Zone 10B in California. Oh, there's a wonderful tree nursery in Southern California. It's in the Fallbrook area, I believe. I don't know the name. I've actually been there.
Exotica.
Exotica, thank you. Exotica. I've been there. And it was really nice. I love that area, the whole Fallbrook area. That's beautiful out there. But Exotica, yeah, check them out. They'll they'll know what's going on out there. Uh, all right. Snails and Garden says, why does no one mention Densler white sapote? I actually got a Densler in the ground and it's flowering. I'm really excited about that. I got it this past year and I got it from Jack and the Beanstalk Nursery, and that's their variety that they have more than anything else of, and they have them good size. The Densler are in good size, and I'm waiting to see how it does. I hear good reports about it, so we'll see. But yes, that's the Densler, and I talk about it every time I do a white sapote video. Uh, do I know anyone in IB growing mango successfully? If anyone's watching and you're growing mango successfully in 9B in Texas, uh, send a comment so we can answer that. But I personally don't know. Uh, when am I going to give trees away again? I love that episode or that video. This coming Wednesday, we're uploading another video of giving away trees. This coming Wednesday. So that's going to be, it's a blast. It's a great one. So check that out this coming Wednesday. So somebody in South Orlando says that they bought a Redland variety from Julian at Laura Farms, Miami, and has a hill in their backyard. It's in a pot right now. Should I plant it on the hill or on the flat ground? I know they don't like to sit in water. I don't know how the land is near you, if it's swampy or not. They don't like to sit in water, so if it's swampy, it doesn't drain well, you definitely want to have it more on the hill. Uh, but they do need some water. I don't know how windy it is in your area or so on, but and I don't know how big the hill is you're talking about, but they don't like to sit in water. So, I don't think you'll go wrong with planting it on the hill. But if you are going to not plant it on the hill, just don't plant it in an area that collects water. And yes, but good choice, good choice. All right, all right. Somebody's coming on here. Let's see. Uh, Tyson is joining. Tyson, if you want to unmute your mic and say hello. Wait, okay.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Where are you
I just wanted.
located?
I'm in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for all the videos, and you inspired me to start growing trees this year and start a little YouTube channel. I work from home, so I got some extra time just to kind of mess around with it and have some fun. So,
What part of Texas?
Central Texas. I'm in like 9A, 9B.
Okay. Are you growing mangoes?
So yeah, I mean, I started, I don't know if I'll be successful, but
Yeah.
yeah, I bought three I bought a cotton candy, and a juicy peach from Tropical Acres Farms.
Wonderful.
And yeah, and then I have a Glen too. That's my biggest one. So this year it hasn't gotten like crazy cold, like under 32 degrees. It's hit 32. I brought them in that night. But when it was like 36, 38, I left them out and they were fine. So I just kind of wanted to see what would happen. But um, they were all fine. They're all small. The Glen's probably like 6 foot tall. And I plan on putting that one in the ground and then keeping the other ones in pots just to kind of see how that one does and keep some in pots just in case I got to bring them in.
Okay. Yeah, somebody just had a question. They said, "Do I know anyone in Texas Zone 9A growing mangoes successfully?" Uh, there you go. I mean, successfully, I don't know, but what I would do
Yeah.
is, uh, I mean, have you met anyone in Texas growing mangoes successfully, Tyson?
No, and I've looked around a lot on YouTube and I don't really see anybody growing mangoes in Texas. It's kind of another reason I started my channel just in case, like, hey, if I am successful or have success, I can kind of spread some knowledge. But I mean, obviously, I know I'm gonna have to do some covering and all that stuff if some hard winters come. But I'm also doing avocados too. I have avocados, mangoes, one banana tree, four pineapples, and like some blueberries and stuff. And I actually just bought a jaboticaba and a loquat, Christmas loquat, from Green Nursery, or the one you did a video with, Greener Farms or whatever. Um, I can't remember, Green Nursery or Green. What is it called? Green Dreams. There we go.
Green Dreams. Yeah, that was the one I was talking about. Green Dreams. That's up there in northern Tampa. They're great. I would. Jabos are great, and they'll do fine. I think in Texas, but you can keep them in the pot, and if it gets the weather's not great out, you can always pull them in. But they do better in a pot. So jabos are great to grow anywhere. I think at least in those borderline properties, you can grow those. I know they do well in 9A and possibly even in 8B. I know Star Fruit's another one that Green Dreams that he was telling me about. Star Fruit surprisingly does really well up there as well. So that's definitely for those in Texas. Star Fruit is one maybe to consider because it does well there at Green Dreams and they're pretty up north. But I would definitely, my emails are below all my videos. It's paul@rawlife.com. Tyson, email me your YouTube channel so I can keep up to date on you and see how you're doing. But what about figs? Are you growing any figs?
No, I haven't. My dad kind of recommended. He was thinking about getting one for me, but I haven't started yet. I haven't tried a lot of figs to be honest, so I don't know.
Man,
How I
they're
feel about
great.
them.
They're great. I mean, figs and persimmons, you can grow persimmons there where you're at. But man, figs, I mean, Michael was asking me about my favorite fruit. I mean, figs. When I lived in California, oh, the figs out there, out of this world, out of this world.
Any
So
recommendation for a specific variety?
you'd have to look online and see what people are doing and suggestion. But I there's there's so
I know
many.
it's a
I don't
tough
know what'll grow
question.
good in your area, but find somebody in California that's growing them, or maybe you can get some good advice. But I know there's a lot of people online talks about figs and what grows where and how they grow.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. And I'll definitely shoot you an email. I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, and keep up the great work, man. I'm looking forward to seeing the growth in your project.
Cool. Sounds good,
Fruitful
man. Have a
trees,
good night.
yes. You too. Okay, so let's see. Okay, next question is good a pumpkin pie mamey. Somebody's has one in a pot. And what do you recommend for fertilizer when spring comes around? I don't have the mamey in the pot. I know Julian has spoken on my show several times in the past with this question. I don't want to answer because I don't remember his exact answer, but I have a pumpkin pie in the ground. But if you could go back and when I interviewed Julian, we specifically went over that so you could see what he recommended for fertilization of mameys in the pot. Uh, okay, somebody says their neighbor has certain cherry. The best certain cherry they tasted. What color was it? Because there's red and there's black, and big difference in flavor. Cuban says Viejo Mame is his favorite. So, all right. Somebody says white sapote is a slow grower. Not necessarily. I mean, it can be, but some people tell me it grows pretty fast. Uh, Somebody says or asks white sapote from seed growing in Puerto Rico, will it produce? Seeds from the Dominican Republic. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't see why it wouldn't. Please keep me updated on how it comes out. Uh, Somebody says plant the white sapote far from the house. The roots can reach pretty far. On the hill is probably best for drainage. Okay, on the hill and away from the house, they say. My favorite jackfruit. Okay, good question. What's my favorite jackfruit and why? I'm having a great time, by the way. Thank you all for being here. Uh, and coming up in a couple of weeks, we're gonna have another special guest coming up. What's your favorite jackfruit and why? My favorite jackfruit is the China jackfruit. It's a champadak. It's a combination of a jackfruit and a champadak fruit. I think they call it jackachamp or whatever. But because I love it because it's easy peel. It's easy peel, and the flavor's out of this world. So that's my choice. Would be that. Now I prefer the softer varieties. Of the harder varieties, Bangkok lemon is really nice. I have a seedling that's really good. It's just so soft. So, uh, but it's really nice. But I got a lot of Boca Champidak variety. I got a lot of jackfruits. Jackfruits and mangoes I probably have more than anything else. But China is my favorite. Yes, uh, the Jack and the Beanstalk is grafting the Densler. White Sapote. At least they have a good amount. Somebody asked about that. Uh, John Doe says after watching my videos, they purchased about 12 white sapotes. Well, what 12 did you get and from where? Uh, let me know. I mean, wait till you see the video I put out tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm putting on a white sapote video with Zane from Zane's World, and then I'm gonna put another video out about the fruit trees that we did, giving away fruit trees. That's coming out on Wednesday, and then on Friday, another white sapote video and a bunch more. So, can you speak about combining nutrient sprays with fungicide, etc.? No, I can't. I don't spray fungicides for the most part or anything toxic. I try to keep it organic. I don't spray much. I try to spray much natural stuff. The only three things or four things I've sprayed is I sprayed compost tea. I sprayed on the trees. I've sprayed moringa, a moringa spray that I have. I don't do it regularly, but I've done it, and if I have the time, I would do it some more. So I hear great things about it. And copper, and now sulfur I'm going to spray. And then unless something has a disease and I contact like Julian or Alex and I say, what should I do? They might say, spray this or spray that. In that case, I'll spray. I trust their opinion. And if they say, you need to spray this, I'll get it and I'll spray it. But for the most part, the only things I spray is the copper and I'm going to spray the sulfur. And I would like to get back into the moringa. Uh, but that's what I do. And I've heard a lot of different people spray a lot of different things. And everyone seems to have their own particular program of what works. That's just what I do for myself, or what I like to do, or what I've done at least, what I've done. Uh, Question says, of all the places you toured this year, what was your favorite ones? Okay. Do you mean yards I visited? Or it's a great question for like the end of the year recap, but uh, do you mean like my favorite, I guess, overall place? My favorite places, I have to say, are the ones where I actually get to taste the fruit. I mean, I have favorites where I don't get to taste the fruit. And then in all fairness, I go to some places in the middle of the summertime and it's like 95 degrees out and the place is amazing, but it's just too hot. I was actually at the Fruit and Spice Park last summer and I didn't have a knife on me and I was mango season. I was the only one there and there were mangoes, hundreds of mangoes all over the floor. And it was so hot that I just left. And I love the heat, but it was so hot I just left. So sometimes it's really uncomfortable with the heat, but the best places to give to tour are the ones that I get to taste the food as well. Those are pretty cool. Lately, I've been to some where, uh, I go there and the weather's beautiful, but it's not the fruit season. And my least favorite, I'll tell you that is when I go to a place and they have a lot of fruit trees and they don't know the name of the variety of any of them. Not even like one of them, none. And I'm like, this is interesting to see how close they're growing. It's interesting to see how the trees are doing, but they don't know any of the varieties and it's not during the fruit season. It's pretty cool if it's during the fruit season. I could help them figure out what kind of variety it is and maybe I could taste it. So that's okay. But when it's not fruit season, they don't know the variety and it's like, call me up in the summertime when that tree has fruit and we'll come back and we'll do an awesome video. But when I do go to a place and they know the variety and they know the story, I love to get the backstory. I love to meet the people and hear about how they got started and what they're doing. So those are my favorite places when I go to those places and it just really gets better and better. There's so many amazing people out there and it really gets better and better. So I have a great time and if there's one or two favorites, I'd have to like review where I've been and I guess the favorite place that I go and been is my own yard. I love my yard and I just love being out there. It's really great. And if any of you are ever in the South Florida, Lake Worth, Florida area, you're welcome to contact me and come by for a visit and check out what I'm doing here. But great question. I'll have to do a video about that. Uh, Yeah, I definitely need a larger lot. What are your thoughts on Montura Gardens? We're going to be ordering from them. Okay, another great nursery, Montura Gardens. I'm going to be doing this spring, hopefully. Well, not this spring. Yeah, but this spring I'll probably be going there literally to go and tour them. But they just came to my house this week and I gave them a tour of my property and they gave me a gift of my favorite mango. They brought me one and wonderful people, wonderful service, good high quality trees. And if you're looking for a larger tree, and it's hard, if you want to buy a 25-gallon tree somewhere, you can't. You can't go to a lot of the nurseries and get them. But how are you going to get them home? Right? I remember when I bought a super house one time. It was 25-gallon. I had no way to get it home. I had to pay somebody a lot of money to deliver it for me. So they actually deliver to you. And you don't have to buy a 25-gallon. They'll deliver like two 15-gallons or something. Great service. Uh, really, really great people. And really important, I was spent time with them and gave them a tour of my yard, and they're knowledgeable. I literally spoke to them about my trees and stuff, and they had a lot of knowledge about the trees. So, two thumbs up to Montura Gardens. If you're going to get a tree from them, I think you're on the right path. It's good. Good. Let me know what you get and what you got. Yeah. Um, yes, I tried the Jamaica Mamey. Absolutely out of this world. And I did try the G3, not the G1, the Guatemalan 1, 2, and 3. I think I tried the 3. I did a video with it. It tasted like cherries. It was really amazing. Both of those varieties were amazing. But I do have the Jamaica. I don't have the G1 yet, but uh, I don't know where I'm going to plant all these, but if you're going to get a Mamey, that Jamaica and that G1 and the G3 are excellent. LauraFarmsMiami.com. Thank you for that. Uh, yes, real life Fruitopia in Melbourne. That's who I was talking about earlier. Okay. Tom's back from Sleepy Lizard. Hello, Tom. Have I tried growing macadamia nuts? I love macadamia nuts, but no, I haven't tried growing it. The only nut I grow is a Malabar nut, the money tree. It's the only one I grow. Haven't tasted it yet, but it's growing nicely. It's flowering now. But the macadamia, everybody I know who's growing it, the squirrels, it attracts squirrels, and I don't want to attract squirrels to my yard. So I try to avoid that. So let's see. Somebody said they just got a Walden tree. Is it a good tree? Thank you. And also, oh no, that's a different person. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I've heard good things about it. When any variety lasts that long, and it's been around, it's a good sign. But I don't have any personal experience with it, so I can't speak to that. Uh, do I have a yellow Mexican sunflower branches that I could send to somebody? I don't. I don't have sunflower branches. Okay, Marlene's in Hawaii, 20 acres. Wow. Wow. Okay, a bunch of other questions just came in. Let's see. Yeah, publicly they're selling Kent varieties. Those are the commercial varieties. What is a premier mango variety for 2025? Somebody's asking. Premier variety for 2025. At the end of last year and recently, I had Alex from Tropical Acres Farms on talking about this topic. We spoke about a good amount of mangoes in this coming year. So that's the place I would point people to. We were talking about the most popular varieties that are hard to get right now. And ZIL 4026 was the top of the list of hard to mangoes get that people are trying to get. P22 is another one that people are trying to get that's not easy to get. But all the ZIL varieties are excellent. And yeah, all the ZIL varieties are excellent. And my favorite variety that I'm encouraging everyone to get and grow is the Sunrise. Sunrise is excellent. Somebody asked, what should your mango tree be before allowing it to fruit? Or what size should it be? What size? Big enough where it's going to be strong enough to hold on to the fruit. But it's probably better to take off the fruit uh, still, even if you get fruit. So I would say possibly similar to the size of it will fruit in like a 7 gallon, but I would say each individual is different, but I wouldn't keep fruit on a tree smaller than 15 gallon. From my experience, that's what I would say. And if it's a 15 gallon, then it's a better opportunity to keep it. So that's what I would say. A couple of other people have some suggestions, then that's fine. Okay, my favorite varieties are Mamey. Someone's asking me. I mean, I never had a Mamey variety I didn't like. But my favorite, Jamaica, the G3 or the G1, I don't know which one I had. And Pace, the Key West Plantain is fine. I've had good Magana. Some of them didn't ripen even, but I've had great Magana. I get to go down to Laura Farm and taste all the varieties. So I had a good amount of them. I got this one here I'm going to taste here in a couple of days. But yeah, the Jamaica and the G1 and the G3, those were at the top of the list. And Pace and Key West have always been wonderful. Oh, I got I've tasted Vallejo, but I have which is the one I have? I have another great one from the Lorito. Lorito, that's delicious. That's really good. Yeah. Yep. What was my job before fruit? Well, uh, I have another channel on YouTube where I teach about health and healing. So that's what I also do. I teach about eating healthy and living healthy and overcoming disease naturally by eating fruit. For those of you that don't know my background, I believe to tell you I was diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, also known as ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, over 30 years ago, and I switched to a diet of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, nothing else. And it's technically called a raw vegan diet. And I got better from my disease. And I also learned about tropical fruit trees. I've traveled the world, and now I just feel blessed where I'm actually growing my food, or at least a good majority of it. So, if my other health channel is rawlifehealthshow.com, you could check that out. I do have another channel too. It's a Bible channel, and the back. And these are my shirts. I have Fruitful Trees, and in the back of the shirt is Genesis 129, where it says, "The food for man is the fruits." That's what our Creator gave him, the seed-bearing fruits. It goes so great. So I just love promoting fruit, eating fruit, living, and vegetables as well. I have a great garden, and I do some episodes of gardening as well. But anyway, so I'm into health, and I wrote some books on health and healing. And prior to that, I was part of corporate America, working on Wall Street in New York before I got into all of that. Kai asks, are there any durian varieties that don't stink as bad but are still good flavor-wise? I don't think durian stinks. I think it tastes great and smells great. But uh, they're coming out with some, I don't want to say hybrid varieties. Well, they are hybrid varieties that they're trying to make durian that doesn't smell. Thankfully, I haven't seen them yet. But if you get avocado, I mean durian frozen, and you put it right in the blender, blend it up, or eat it frozen, it doesn't smell as strong. So that you could try that. Okay, we're coming towards the end of the questions and also the end of the 2 hours we've been on. Wow. Okay. Let's see. What mangoes do you think would be best for California? From every time I've interviewed Alex at Tropical Acres Farms, he always said the more vigorous mangoes do better out there. I guess because they don't grow as fast because of the environment not being tropical. That's just a guess of why. But he always says the more vigorous mangoes. I know peach cobbler is one he often says would do good in California. Uh, and any mango tree that's pretty vigorous, he says they might grow better in the California area. So, no, somebody asked if I'm growing the mango USDA hemp. No, I am not. And I would, but I don't have room. It's a good variety. All right, coming down to the last questions here. Am I growing the ZIL 4026? I have the ZIL 4026 in a pot. I have the ZIL 4026 in a pot. Yes. The watermelon splash mango, I did a video on it. I haven't tried it and I haven't seen it or heard about it since. Hopefully this summer they'll have more information about it and I will try it. So next time I go back there, I'll be sure to ask them about it. Any experience with the little Cado or Warts avocado? I spoke about it a little earlier. I haven't tasted it. No, I might have tasted it. Me and Tom at Sleepy Lizard, we might have tasted it when we were at Julian's, but I don't remember it. But no experience. I did grow it for one time, but I needed the space, and that's the one. One of them had to go. Have I tasted Booth 8 avocado? Absolutely, I did. And Sleepy Tom at Sleepy Lizard Avocado gave me a bunch of those, and they were delicious. Really delicious. Very good. 2 thumbs up. I don't know if he still has them in stock, but I definitely recommend go to guacfarm.com and see if they still has the Booth 8 in stock. What's the best region? Okay, like 2 or 3 more questions. What's the best region in Florida to grow exotic tropical fruit? I mean, you can grow everywhere in Florida, but if you really want to get into the tropical, the hotter the better. So the more south you are, the better. That's what I would say. But, when we got to consider hurricane zones, the hotter you get and the more you're in the zone. So, but anywhere central and below is going to be excellent. But my area on the water, so right where Tropical Acres Farms is and Truly Tropical is, on the East Coast on the water, I think might be the best. And I'm actually right near Zill's. Zill is very close to here. What would you say is the sweetest mango you've ever tasted? Good question. I don't measure the bricks, so that one would be hard to say. I've never tasted a mango that was too sweet where I couldn't eat it. The sweetest might be a sugarloaf. I remember sugarloaf was like really sweet. Um, wow, wow. What a way to end. John Doe says he purchased a Max Golden, Golden Globe, Lemon Gold, Blumenthal, Ranaki, Chris Ortega, Vernon white sapotes that are grafted, as well as 3 seedlings. Facebook Marketplace has home growers. That sounds amazing. Amazing. Where are you located, John? John Doe, where are you located? That sounds amazing. I'm skeptical about buying tropical trees from home growers because I've gotten a lot of mislabels and I want to know the people and the place before I get something. Not that they would try to pull one over on somebody, but I want to know it's labeled correctly. And that's why I really want to know who I'm getting the tree from to make sure they they really do a good job in labeling. But okay, he's in Brisbane, Australia. Brisbane, Australia. I love Brisbane. I was out there. I loved it. That's very cool, man. Please keep me updated on how they do and how they fruit. Yeah, let me know. Okay, question. Good question. I guess we'll end on this question, everybody, and then I'll say a few things and then we'll end for the night. Somebody's asking, what do I think about creme brulee and buttercream mango? Mad Farm's asking. Okay, creme brulee is one that specifically, I haven't tasted it yet, but I bought the tree and it specifically stands in my mind. It's one of the most ones that are next on my list to try to taste because every time I go to Tropical Acres Farms and we pass that tree, I always remember Alex telling me that is quite possibly the best tasting mango on his farm. So I am going to make it a point to taste it this year. Now I love it. I love the idea. I always say don't buy a tree until you've tasted it. But because of Alex saying that several times, I had to buy the tree, of course. And I'm all big fan of getting trees in like a small 1 or 3 gallon and let them grow. You could always sell them or give them away if you don't need them, but it's good to have them. So when you're ready, when you need them. But that's one of the trees that I planted. That was the last mango tree that I planted, and I had to take it out of the ground because I wanted to put my on my white sapote in, and I put my Bonita Springs in this spot because it was still small, the creme brulee. And as for buttercream, I have a buttercream, and it's in a really tight spot. And I was thinking of taking it out, but I like it so much that I was like, I can't take this out. So I'm going to try to keep it small in this spot. It's really good. It's really good. It's a nice big mango. It doesn't grow, the tree doesn't grow too big in general, but it's not, I wouldn't even say it's in my top 5 or maybe not even in my top 10. But other people have told me it is definitely in their top 3. So it's a very good mango. Yes, John Doe, please send me some photos or videos and how tall they are and all that. That'd be great. Uh, okay, Easy Cash says, why does it matter if a tree's grown from graft or seed? Well, some fruit, or especially mangoes, are not true to seed, so you don't know what you're getting. And it takes anywhere from 5 to 10 years for from seed to fruit for a tree to fruit. So why do you want to waste that much time planting something and there's a good chance you're going to get something that doesn't taste good? Whereas if you graft it, you know exactly what you're getting, and it's going to produce a fruit much sooner. So it's a highly recommended you get a grafted tree. I have a few seedlings in the ground uh, that I'm interested to see how they'll come out, but they're not in good spaces and they're only temporary unless they're actually mind-blowing trees. But yeah, it's better to get grafted in my opinion. Uh, all right, everybody. Thank you for your questions tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I'm excited about making the videos. As I said, depending when you're watching this tomorrow, I'm going to put another one out on white sapote I did at Zane's World. And then I have another one from a grower in Hawaii. And we continue to give out the fruit trees. We have another episode coming up on that this Wednesday. And then next week, I have another episode with the Fruit Hunters white sapote that I want to put out now. I just don't have the time. What I've been doing is putting out 3 videos a week as of now. I've been doing Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And I have enough content to put a video out every day, but I don't want people to get lost in the videos and not be able to catch up and miss varieties. So that's why I haven't put videos every day, and I limit them to 3 days a week. But I have the content, I have the videos, and I'm really ready to get them out. And sometimes I will try to put them out. So keep that in mind, everybody. And thank you. Thank you. If you don't already have one, I got shirts, Fruitful Trees, and I got the hats in several different colors. And we got the bumper stickers that says "Make Fruit Trees Great Again." So check that out. The links at the bottom of all my videos. And yeah, keep growing, everybody. And thank you for subscribing to the channel. And please pass along the videos. And on the bottom of my videos or my email, which is below my videos, let me know what topics you'd like me to talk about. If you know of a great nursery in your area, or somebody, or even you that have fruit trees that you're growing, especially here in South Florida, that you'd like me to come to your house and film your yard and feature you on the channel, I'd love to do that. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And a lot of you I'm meeting, I go to Costco and people say, "Oh, you're that guy who was at the post office. They recognized me." I am so excited to be connected to uh, growing fruit trees and people that are growing fruit trees. And, I'm here to help you and to learn with you and grow with you. So, everybody, with that, I'll say have a great night. Thank you. And I'll be back. Let me know if you liked this live with myself, so we could do more of these in the future. If this was helpful to you, if you'd like me to come on and do this again, this format where you can get on and ask questions, or you could ask questions on the side for me, because we could always get questions from other people as well. But if you want questions from me, and you want to do this with me, let me know if that works. All right. I see somebody just tried to join the waiting room, but we're about to end here. I'll actually let them in and say hello before we go. How's that? Let's see. Maybe they have a question for us. But I'm going to try to limit this and finish for now, but let's see. iMax iPhone. If you want to unmute yourself. Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
Julian.
Julian. All right. This is Julian Laura, everybody, from Laura Farms.
Hello.
Literally just about to say goodnight. And we just had an amazing time of 2 hours of questions, amazing questions. Somebody had a question for you, since you're here. And
Sure.
thank you for dropping by. Somebody had a question about they have a pumpkin pie mamey in a pot and was wondering what's the best way they can fertilize it.
You can buy some all-purpose Miracle Grow at Home Depot and get 2 tablespoons of that in a gallon of water. Mix it up really good and pour it on the drench it, pour it on the root system once a month, and that should be more than enough. But if you want to kick it up a notch, you can do that every 2 weeks as well.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
And
I mean, usually people like using granulars, but sometimes we get too excited and put too much 839 or 1268 or 101010, and we can accidentally burn the tree by over fertilizing because we're too excited about the tree and wanted to grow fast. But a way not to for it to burn by accident is by mixing 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water of all-purpose Miracle Grow, and that way you'll never burn the tree by fertilizing.
there you go. Listen, folks, what amazing fruit tree grower do you know that, like, Julian Laura is like stopping by the show to say hello? That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you, Julian. We got another question. Somebody says the avocado, is it coming soon?
Yeah. We're waiting for the budwood to be in its peak form, which is this month, and I really have the original Atme tree under my supervision, because I don't want the timing to pass, because they can flower any moment now since it's so early, and right now we're in mid December, so I'm probably gonna go to try to cut the budwood for at least 100 to 150 to graft 100 to 150 trees. So, and I got my rootstocks ready. And so I'm hoping that the grafts will take and they'll start growing really fast. And that way I can be fulfilling all the pre-orders for all the good people that were interested enough to reserving one.
Speaking of that, somebody asked earlier, they said they ordered the Jamaica and the G1 Mamey from you, and I think they're on a waiting list, and they were wondering when those might be ready.
Yeah, they'll be ready soon. We grafted probably over 100 or probably more, and they're still in the infant stage. They're still in the greenhouse, trying to get them to grow and to be, suitable enough for shipping. So it's in the works. It's in the oven. Still, it's still baking, as they say.
Okay, and Kai is asking if you'll be grafting the pumpkin pie Mamey on his website. Will you be grafting that?
Yeah, I think I have some ready in a 1 gallon container, and I'm just waiting for them to be adequate enough to be put in a box and shipped.
I got to be honest with people. I love Julian and what he's doing, but with that last question, I want to warn people. I'm not trying to hurt your business, buddy, but I got to warn people. The pumpkin pie spice Mamey. I have a tree, and I know 3 other people that had trees, and I still have another one, but they haven't been able. Julian has one; it's still alive, but it hasn't been a successful tree for a lot of people.
Yeah, I have two. I have one in the ground, and I have one in a 15-gallon pot. Now, the one in a 15-gallon pot is thriving, beautiful. It's just a picture perfect mamey tree. But the one in the ground looks like crap.
Yeah.
It's just it does. I guess since it's such a slow grower, it requires an incredible amount of drainage. You would have to like dig a hole. See, that's what I didn't do right. I didn't dig a big enough hole for this mamey, for this pumpkin pie. So the water seems to get stuck underneath the root system. And if I dug a deeper hole and then loosened up all the rock and all the dirt and then filled it back in with the same stuff that I dug out, there would be a better drainage so that the water can trickle away the roots from the trickle away from the root system a lot faster. So if you dig a minimal hole like I did, you're gonna get really bad results. I mean, I haven't watered that tree, I think, in like 2 weeks, and I stick my moisture meter down there and it's still wet. So that's why it's looking like crap. And if your tree looks like crap because for whatever reason, it's most likely because poor drainage. You have to dig a massive hole for that.
My tree was looking amazing and it just died. And it was like so disappointing. But I have another tree in the ground that's looking amazing as well. So hopefully.
Well, you have sand and you have good drainage over there. But
Yeah.
even with sand and good drainage, you can still overwater it, not knowing. But
Yeah.
but now you got a moisture meter, so you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's exciting. So somebody's asking on that note, they have another question. They said, uh, is the Porto Vita avocado Julian sells the same one David Fairchild found in Rivas, Nicaragua?
Well, there's the source the place that I sourced the Pura Vida is from a collector in Puerto Rico, and everybody knows that the Pura Vida is which means pure life in English, is a super long neck avocado, even longer than the Russell. And I got my budwood from Puerto Rico from a collector over there. So I don't think it's the same one. It's the same one that they have over here at Fairchild, but I sourced it from Puerto Rico.
All right, Julian, tell me
Stop,
about
stop
this.
making her cry. Sorry?
You tell me about this. You sent me these mameys called
Pozo, which means well in English.
Is this a Hanukkah gift for me? What is this?
Yeah. Well, the Pozo Azul is a variety that I've been selling on my website for a while, and it came from this property that it's like 100-acre Mamey grove that's my dad grafted back in the 70s. And the owner of the property is a good friend of my dad, or was a good friend of my dad's. And he bought a lot of trees from Zill. And this was one of the trees that he got from Zill as a little thing of interest. Back in the days, I guess he talked to Lawrence Zill and said, hey, what's this? What's this Pozo Azul? I want as many varieties of Mamey as possible. And he sold them the Pozo Azul as something different. But it happens to be off season. I'm picking fruit off of it right now. I'm scratching it and it's red. And for some reason, my dad really never had Pozo Azul under his radar. And he has had a lifelong mission of looking for a Mamey that makes fruit in December and January. And Pozo Azul was one of them. And also Jamaica. I mean, it's always been Tazumal for us, but Tazumal has uneven ripening. But Jamaica and Pozo Azul was under his radar, under everybody's radar, until now, until we figured out that we got a December, January Mamey, which is the missing link, the missing relic,
Yeah.
if I may say. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. I'm looking forward to these. Are they always this size, or are they sometimes bigger?
No, they're tiny.
Yeah.
Put something for Amanda. Can you put something on TV for? Yeah, they're always tiny like that, and the tree's kind of tiny too, so it might be a dwarf. Only time will tell, because the original tree is a 40-year-old tree, and it doesn't look too big either for being 40 years old. The original tree, and mine looks very bushy. I made a video on my Facebook about the tree, showcasing the tree and the fruit on the tree too. If you go on Lara Farms Facebook page.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, man, we got to do another event. I think I'm going to be coming down there next week and seeing you, everybody. LauraFarmsMiami.com is where Julian's website is, and it's just
Yeah,
the
Paul, I
thing
have
around the
I have
farm.
a live chat on there too. If you go on the website, there's a live chat where it goes directly to me. I have the app on my phone, so if you have a fruit tree question, you can always go on the app and talk to me, and I'm very good at getting back to you as soon as I get the message.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll have Julian on for a full pre-announced Q&A, and we're going to be doing a lot of videos this coming year. We're going to go through it like every time a new fruit that's well known is in season. I'm going to try to get down there and do not just one video, but maybe like a whole series on that one particular characteristics of the fruit and the varieties. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, so, and it's great timing because we're starting the beginning of the year now, so we'll be able to see. And I've done this with him in the past, and I'm just so excited because many of the trees I got from him that when I was down there doing those videos are about to fruit for me now. So I'm so excited, and it's right around the corner. And speaking of the best video I've ever done, somebody asked me the best location, and I said it's when I get to taste the fruit. One of my fondest memories a couple of years ago was when Julian had me go around his farm and taste all his mangoes that were in season, like we
Oh yeah.
videoed. It was amazing. And here I am thinking I'm special, but then I had like five other friends go down there and he did the same thing for them. He's a great guy. Like he literally opens up his farm to a lot of people. He puts you on a golf cart and he shows you around if he has time. It's
Well, let
really
me tell you, if
great.
I have time and I have something worthwhile, I love giving people that experience and of trying something new or trying something that they didn't like before, and I know they'll like it now.
Yeah.
Some people are like, "Oh, I tried this before and I didn't like it. I tried jackfruit before, I didn't like it." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is your lucky day. Let's get on the golf cart. Let's go. Let's go check out this jackfruit that I have."
Yeah.
And on that day, one of those times was with Tom Sleepy Lizard. Yeah, he's never tried jackfruit before, and I took him to the back, and I happened to have a ripe cochin. So his first jackfruit was a cochin.
Wow.
How
Wow.
lucky is that?
Well, I'm still waiting to try Cochin and Banana Crunch. I haven't tried. I'm looking forward this year to you call me up and saying I got a ripe one. Get on down here, and I'll be right down there.
No, what I'll put it in the mail. I'll put it in a box and mail it to you next time. There's a
Well,
Banana Crunch, because Banana Crunch was phenomenal. I had Bruce come here the other day, the president of Fairchild Gardens,
yeah.
and I let him try a Banana Crunch, and the fruit, it was on the small side. But when you see a small Banana Crunch on the tree, that means it has no seeds. It was completely seedless, and Bruce was just blown away, man. It
Well,
was
it's in
melting in his
season
mouth.
now. Is it typically off season or is it just that one?
No, this was just like a couple of months ago.
Okay.
So it was still
Okay.
jackfruit season. It was just some leftover jackfruits, but it was a small one, soft, and it was just no seeds in the bulbs. If there were seeds, they were like little aborted seeds.
Wow. Wow.
So
Well,
he
I'm
had,
looking forward to it because Banana Crunches, uh, from what you tell me, it's similar characteristics to my favorite China, which is
yeah,
small and easy peel. And
yeah. Well, it's a hybrid between the China and a black gold. So it's
wow,
75% Champadek.
wow, wow.
I mean 25% Champadek.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
everybody, definitely get on to laurafonzmiami.com. He ships a lot of the nurseries I often visit. They're amazing, but they don't ship. But Julian ships all over the country and
Yeah, California,
not
Hawaii,
just trees,
Arizona.
folks. This is important. This is the difference between Laura Farms and many other places. He doesn't just ship trees. You can go to a lot of nurseries or some nurseries and they'll ship trees, but he also ships the fruit.
Bro, I
Like
was
when the
shipping
fruit's ready.
Nishikawas. I was shipping
Yeah.
Nishikawas these past couple of weeks. I was putting one Nishikawa and an expedition and whatever else I can find that can fill up our fruit box for avocados, late season avocados. And I probably have like 4 to 6 different avocados in one 5 pound box, which usually gets up to 7 pounds when you weigh it all together with the
Yeah,
box.
I actually he sent me an expedition. I tasted it today. I made a video, an expedition avocado, which was amazing. But Nishikawa, everyone's asking me to do a video when I taste it. I'm waiting for it to get ripe. But it's that part of the avocado box that he has that I've been telling everyone to get because that just a nursery that's going to ship a variety of the top quality avocados that you get to taste it. I might think that Julian has the best job in the world. He gets to go out
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
grove and pick a variety box of different fruits for people that want to try and taste these things. Amazing, amazing. And but he also tastes the fruit, so that's great.
Oh, and I
Uh,
also do that with black sapote. I have a black sapote mix box where I put 4 different varieties of black sapote. I put Reineke, Bernecker, Wilson, and Everbearing,
you're
and
gonna have
Oblong in one box, black sapote. And I do the same thing with Canistel when there's enough, and I do the same thing with everything, even my
well,
maize.
you're gonna have to do that. Please send me a black sapote box because I would do the video when I was down there. But black sapote, it's hard to get them all ripe at the same time. And I've had black sapote, but I haven't had one particular. I don't know the variety, but if you could send me a variety box of black
Well,
sapote,
you coming Friday?
do you have all the varieties to taste?
Yeah, I can. If he's telling me you're coming Friday, I'll have everything ready so that by Friday they'll be ripe.
We'll try to make that happen on Friday. Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely, because
because you know the best way to eat black sapote is when it falls on the ground and it splatters and falls down splat. That is when it has the highest sugar content.
so you're gonna make me eat it off the grass.
Yes, that's the best way to eat it.
Can we get on our hands and knees and like run there like a dog or a cat and eat it off the ground?
Yeah, well, we get it. We'll use spoons. We'll use some plastic spoons.
Yeah. But absolutely, my thing is black sapotes for me are hard. It's hard for me to find like the different varieties of black sapote. I got a black sapote tree. I just have no idea the variety. And
Yeah.
and and I've tasted my neighbor has one. I don't know the varieties. And so I'd love to taste the varieties and do a video with the different varieties of black sapote.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
if you don't come on Friday, I'll send it to you in the mail.
okay, okay. Now when you send them though, they don't all ripen at the same time, most likely, right?
Probably will. If they're all picked at the same time, they all should ripen together more or less.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
the thing with
that's
that, you got to let
amazing.
them turn as black as possible. The
Black
uglier it looks, the better it tastes.
Black sapote is interesting because it's a fruit that, you know, it's really not at the top of anyone's list, not even mine. But when you get them ripe, they're amazing. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I had somebody come over yesterday and who's tried black sapote before. They're like, no, I'm not into it. I don't like black sapote. I'm like, bro, today's your lucky day. You're gonna try one of my black sapotes that are ripe. And I went to the Reineke tree, and I looked on the floor looking for a fresh one that fell down, and I just grabbed off a piece of it with the skin, and I gave it to him. I smelled it first to make sure it's not fermented. I gave it to him, and I'm like, here, it looks like dog poop, but trust me, it's sweet and it's delicious.
I
And
hope, I hope, I hope, I hope I don't love it because I have no more space. I got no more space. I hope I don't
they
love
let me
it.
tell you, they become a believer. They become a believer instantly when I give it to them prepared that way. And it's,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you got to eat it off the floor. I made a video of me laying down on the floor on my stomach eating one of those things.
Wow. Wow. We're gonna have a fun video, everybody. Maybe we'll get a Tom from Sleepy Lizard to come join
Oh,
us and
oh man, yeah, that'll be a lot
yeah,
of fun. I'm
the
sure he'll come.
fruitful three will eat black sapote.
Yeah,
But
we
it's
gotta
great.
do.
I love it with citrus with like squeezed oranges on it.
Oh yeah, well that's the way they do it in Mexico. They put it in a blender with some orange juice and they just blend it and that's it. That's what they do over there.
You know, and you know what I do is personally I don't like uh, canasteel, right? I don't
Yeah.
like canasteel personally. It's one fruit I don't like, but I remember making with because it's the same season a black sapote, uh, canasteel, like a dessert where you put first the black sapote in there, and then you put a
Oh,
layer.
layers,
It looked like
layers.
yeah, layers. It looked like the sand in the old days when you made those sand pictures, and it was
Yeah.
black, beautiful yellow, black, beautiful yellow. But I ate it, and the combination of those together, it was out of this world. It was so
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, I got to find a picture of that because it was beautiful and amazing, and it could have been on the menu in any top 5-star restaurant around the
Well,
world.
you should do a video of you preparing that and then showing it to your neighbors.
Yeah, showing it on video and make a video with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Very good, very good. Somebody just said they put that black sapote in a dehydrator. I never heard of.
I've done
Well,
it. I've done it
interesting
before.
because you could dry persimmon, so I'm sure it would be great too. Wow.
I've done it. It's chewy. It's chewy and slightly sweet that way. Yeah, but it's really good. It's not bad to dehydrate. I used to dehydrate it back in the days when I was selling dehydrated fruit.
Wow, wow. Folks, we're gonna have so many great videos coming up. Uh, but I want you all to go to bed and get a good night's sleep. So we're gonna end the video now here. But Julian, thank you for stopping by. I'll see you soon and stay updated, everybody, close for all of the updates. Again, I got a video coming out in the morning, another one on the white sapote, and then I have another one where we're gonna give free fruit trees to people.
Oh,
And
I
then
love those videos. That
yeah,
was
we got
fantastic.
another one coming on Wednesday, which is great. Really great surprise in that video. And then Friday we're going to be speaking to a grower in Hawaii and so many great stuff. And I'm going to try to get out to Laura Farms and do this black sapote variety video, which no one on the internet has sat
Probably not. Yeah, that's
varieties
right.
of black
Oh, and don't
sapote.
forget the carambola. We can try 10 different kinds of carambola on
Man,
Friday too.
you're getting me hungry here. You're getting
And
me hungry.
and you can try the bell carambola, which is my new favorite.
Yeah, Bell's wonderful. I think I've had all of these separately, but sitting next to it and having them all together would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, there's a lot of varieties that track, like some B varieties called B12, B13, and then there's Myers Dwarf and a handful of others that you probably never heard of before that you
I was
should
telling
try.
everybody before, Pete at oh, I forgot the name.
P. Canaris?
Pete Canaris, yeah. He was saying that up where he lives in that environment, surprisingly, star fruit does wonderful up there.
Yeah.
you know, and he lives in what zone 9A or something, and he said it does wonderful up there,
The
and he was
the
surprised.
older the tree is, the more resistant it can, the more cold it can take. The thicker the
Yeah.
trunk, the older the tree.
And I'll
So,
tell everybody this about starfruit. This is the most amazing thing. So to me, starfruit's great. I have a Kerry starfruit, but its season is the same season as miracle fruit. And I have the trees right next to each other. And if you eat a miracle fruit and then eat a starfruit, I don't know if there's any other fruit that tastes sweeter than that together. It's absolutely like candy. A miracle fruit, and then you put the starfruit in.
oh
It's
yeah,
it's the best. And so
yeah.
that's been my lunch for the last maybe 2 weeks is starfruit and miracle fruit.
You know the active ingredient inside miracle fruit that creates that this dulcification is called miraculum. That's the name of the chemical that has that's in the miracle fruit. It's called miraculum. That's what they named it.
Wow, that's miraculous. Wow.
Miraculous.
That's amazing, everybody. Definitely that actually if somebody asked me what fruit I eat more than any other fruit in my whole yard, it would be miracle fruit. I actually uh you know, as crazy as it sounds, if I could only have two trees in my whole yard, most of you would think I'm crazy, but it would be moringa and miracle fruit because those are the ones I eat the most. Also,
Moringa.
yeah, moringa and miracle fruit. I eat those the most.
They have a lot of
Everything's
amino acids.
delicious and wonderful and snackful, but moringa has every nutrient to survive and
You ever
thrive.
try the seeds? You ever eat the seeds on the moringa?
I've had the seeds, yeah. They're okay, but
They're
they
bitter. They're bitter, but it'll kill like bacteria
yeah. Put them in some water, it cleans up the
and
water.
parasites.
Yeah.
If you have worms, it'll probably kill the worms too.
Yeah, and miracle fruit in general makes anything. You know, the other day I got some oranges that weren't that great. I said no problem, and I just ate some miracle fruit first, and then ate the oranges, and it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yes, everybody, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you again, Julian, for stopping by. Have a blessed night, everybody, and we'll see you again soon. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. God bless everybody. Good night.